right, wrestler fans, you got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's Total Impact Wrestling Report. This is the Bound for Glory playoffs. We are winding down as we get to finally find out who will be the Bound for Glory champion versus the winner of this contest. We have tonight ECIII, former world champion, going up against Broken Matt Hardy. And we have another former world champion, Drew Galloway, going up against the Miracle Mike Bennett. We open up with Broken Matt Hardy, along with Rebecca, with King Maxwell, with Senor Benjamin, trustworthy indeed. And then he summons that obsolete mule, Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero. In short, victory over ECIII tonight for Matt. And then the music hits, trouble, 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 trouble. And ECIII makes his way to the ring. Him and Matt Hardy are face to face, going back and forth with a war of words. And then Matt Hardy comes out and tells him that I will eat you and your cats, Ethan. That did not sit well with ECIII, and the two of them began fighting, fist and fury all around the ring. Outside, we had interference by Reby Sky, and far from the mat classic that these men have had in the past, ECIII suffering an injured ankle. Reby Sky slides the hammer to Broken Nero, who tosses it to the center of the ring. Not to Matt Hardy, not to ECIII, who will use it as both men continue to fight around the ring. And then apparently no one will be using this hammer as ECIII hits the 1%er on Matt Hardy in the center of the ring, knocking him out for the 1, the 2, and the 3. And your winner, ECIII, making his way to the next round of the Bound for Glory playoffs. And that will be going up against either the Miracle Mike Bennett or Drew Galloway. Backstage vignette, we have Allie, a.k.a. Cherry Bomb, for those of you in the know. Cherry Bomb and her husband, Pepper Parks, have been guests of the Big Slam Nation in the past. You want to check them out, hear what they had to say. A fantastic interview. Go on YouTube channel, check it out. Then we have Madison Rayne and Maria Kanellis Bennett. And then we will see Madison Rayne versus Gail Kim tonight in a match. This should be one hell of a match, as both of these women are two of the best in this knockout division. Another backstage vignette with Matt Hardy blaming Brother Nero for his loss. And then it's the knockouts. The match, Gail Kim versus Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne dominating Kim early on, hit her with a step-up enziguri, and the 5-time knockouts champion going over top of Gail, who just cannot get an offense going against Madison. Madison Rayne just destroying Gail Kim throughout this match. And then finally, out of nowhere, eat defeat on Madison, and Gail Kim wins, moving ever closer to gaining her 6th knockout title reign. This is not, of course, sitting well with Maria Kanellis Bennett. We then get Mike Bennett basically promoting the future of TNA, that being Moose. Bennett is focused on the world title, and Moose is determined to destroy anyone that the Miracle puts in his way. And now, as again, I have been away from Impact Wrestling, so a lot has changed. There seems to be some type of love interest between Rosemary and Bram. So we have a vignette of these two. I'll leave this go as it is because I have no idea where they're going with this and where it came from. What I'm more interested in is the fact that Moose is in the ring going up against young David Starr. David Starr. Who is David Starr? It doesn't matter who David Starr is. Moose puts him down, puts him up on the top turnbuckle and strikes him with a standing drop kick. A beautiful drop kick from a man of his height. This was perfect. Then he hits the game breaker clothesline and puts David Starr into an other world and the 1, 2, 3, and basically Moose continues on his just domination of anyone who gets in his way. Then we have the champion, Bobby Lashley, comes out to confront Moose, who does not back down. Michael Bennett begins talking and promoting and says he has a world title match upcoming after he defeats his next opponent, Drew Galloway, and he needs Moose tonight to be focused on this match, not with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley will have to wait until he's authorized by Michael Bennett to go on and hit him up in a title match. Moose and Lashley, something that the fans across the wrestling world are looking forward to, as these two are going to have one hellacious feud coming down the pike very, very soon. We then get DJZ, who comes out to challenge Bobby Lashley. That's right. Do not forget that Bobby Lashley not only is the world champion, he is also the X Division champion. And DJZ, he wants a title match, and he wants it right now. And he gives DJZ his choice of any X Division match in existence. Zema Ion says he will pick a ladder match, and it's agreed to by the champ, and a ladder match is what we get. It's a match here of strength versus speed, and the champ here is just simply manhandling DJZ. Even though great aerial moves are in effect by Zema Ion, it just does not do the damage against Lashley that needs to be done. And Lashley just utilizes his size and his strength to stop DJZ. Lashley just pulverizing Ion with the ladder. Bobby is just destroying this man, smashing his head with a ladder, tossing him to the floor. Lashley then sets the ladder up, climbing the ladder. Zemo springboards off of the top rope, knocking Bobby Lashley off the ladder to the floor. And we get a massive spine buster to DJZ as the beast Lashley is just unstoppable with this. Ion goes up the ladder one more time. Lashley comes up the ladder with him, and Gorilla presses Zema Ion to the floor. Bobby Lashley then climbs the ladder and takes his title down, and he is the winner and still your X Division champion, Bobby Lashley. I don't see anyone currently in the X Division that is going to be able to defeat Bobby Lashley, except for one man. One man who is not in the roster right now due to recovering from an injury. One man who should have had a title match against Kurt Angle over a year ago. One man who has the ability to fight MMA style, who is, even though his size is small in stature, he is one of the strongest, toughest guys that fits in the X division. Who am I speaking about? I'm talking about one half of the Wolves, not Eddie Edwards. I'm talking about Davey. Davey and Lashley will be an outstanding feud if that's the direction they're going in. And then Davey can also become not just the X Division champion, but the World Heavyweight champion for Impact Wrestling. And he certainly deserves it. I've been pushing for him for years for this singles run, ignored by Dixie Carter and the powers that be. Now I think they have no other chance but for him to come back and destroy Lashley in the ring. Now, besides that, so far tonight, this Impact Wrestling has really been on the money. A lot of action. We got some vignettes, some things that don't need to be, a couple little odd, silly things, but for the most part, this is Impact Wrestling. This is TNA. This is what I've been waiting for, and when I got drafted to handle this event each and every week, I was concerned that I was going to be stuck in a situation where the wrestling has been put to the side. But you know what? It seems that wrestling is right at the top, and it's what is the most important thing going. And speaking of wrestling and what's going up to be an outstanding event, we have Drew Galloway and ECIII meeting backstage, talking about the world title shot. ECIII offering help against Michael Bennett, but Drew says no. And that the next time they see each other, it will be one-on-one for the Bound for Glory playoff for the winner to get their title shot. We then get another Creep Fest vignette with Rosemary and Bram. Again, I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know where they've been. I'm going to have to search and look back into this and see exactly what in the world is happening with Bram and Rosemary. I will say Bram has a new look. The long, crazy Viking-like beard that he had before, the Bruiser Brody look, is gone. He's trimmed his beard down. He's looking very much like 300, the king in 300 himself. And everybody has a change here. The tag team champions, the Decay, no longer a mask for the monster Abyss. Awesome, creepy, scary makeup. Same for Crazy Steve, and of course Rosemary. Very haunting looking group of individuals, and again, they are the tag team champions for Impact Wrestling. Now we have a game show, I guess this is, on Impact Wrestling called Fact of Life with your host, Eli Drake. Who? Eli Drake. That's right, I said Eli Drake, the King of the Mountain champion, who says that Bobby Lashley still has not beaten him yet, and that he will be not only the King of the Mountain champion, not only the X Division champion, but Eli Drake will be also the World Heavyweight champion. And then James Storm's music hits and he comes down to ringside. He brings Eli a beer and he's asking for one more match. And Eli Drake, who I said Eli Drake, said no and take your beer with you. The challenge out there. We then get a commercial with Brodus Clay, Tyrus, known as the Fixer. And then we got Grado and Mattis Shear in some gimmick vignette about these two learning how to speak English. These are the kind of things that I can do without. It was very short and then it was gone, thankfully. And I get, yes, the tag team titles on the line. The Bromans back together again. Last time I had watched Impact Wrestling, the Bromans were no longer a tag team. I'm glad to see them back. A lot of people didn't like the Bromans. I always felt they were an outstanding team together. They will be versing Abyss of Crazy Steve with Rosemary in a Monsters Ball match. That, of course, never is an easy thing for somebody looking to defeat a team with the Monster Abyss as one of the champions. The Bromans match starts and they have been decimated in the early goings on of this match. We have barbed wire, thumbtacks, trash cans, Jesse Goddard's, top rope springboard, chair shots, Singapore canes, and the Bromans have finally taken control. Steve is power slammed on an open chair. There's a double spear that puts Abyss into the barbed wire wooden contraption on the rings, and a Boston Crab on Steve face down in the thumbtacks. My God, this is turning into one hell of a brutal match. And then out of nowhere, Janice is on the loose. Janice coming around trying to strike anybody with this, and then basically the Decay winds up retaining the titles as Crazy Steve pins Robbie E in the barbed wire. What a match. This was entertaining as hell. I love the Decay, and for them as tag team champions right now, it's really interesting to see. I don't know where the tag team division stands here in TNA at this time, especially as the Wolves are not in there. Beer Money is gone. We'll have to see who else is left out there. And I'm going to take a drink, a little libation as my throat. I'm losing my voice a bit. Forgive me for that, friends. We now have our main event of the evening. The Miracle Michael Bennett with Maria Kanellis Bennett versus Drew Galloway. And as the match begins, Moose comes out of nowhere, bushwhacking the Scottish Dragon on the ramp to ringside, power bombing him on the outer portion of the ring, that hardest part of the ring. Now the bell rings, and the Miracle tries to pin Drew Galloway, and he kicks out, not once, not 2 pin attempts, but 4 actual pin attempts, and he kicks out of each and every one after being destroyed by Moose before the bell rang. The Miracle just begins pounding on the Chosen One. Drew Galloway nearly unconscious. Bennett gets back briefly with kicks and chops, but the Miracle is now unleashing hell even more, and Galloway flips Bennett up and over the ropes. Drew comes off the top rope, and Bennett catches him with, for all intents and purposes, an RKO, and he kicks out at 2. The Miracle cannot pin Drew Galloway despite everything he's throwing at him and everything that Moose threw at him. Drew tossed over the top rope to the floor. Bennett goes down and continues to beat him all over the floor. Galloway finally gets control, puts the Miracle back into the ring. Galloway gets into the ring and hits the Miracle with a reverse Alabama slam. And in doing so, the legs hit and knock the referee out. Drew hits the future shock on Michael Bennett, and he is knocked out cold, but there is no referee to make the count. At this point, Moose runs in and attacks Drew. Moose hits the sky high on the Chosen One. Bennett crawling over the top of Galloway for a 2 count only. This man is not going down for anybody. Then ECIII, the ass kicker, is out and going after Moose. He takes Moose out on the steel steps outside the ring. Michael Bennett, a kendo stick thrown to him by Maria, and ECIII grabs it and batter up, my friends. He's there to take out the Miracle and swings. Miracle Mike Bennett drops and it hits Galloway hard in the upper body. Moose then comes in and hits the game breaker on the floor with ECIII. Bennett goes for the cover and the 3 count. 1, 2, and 3. And Michael Bennett is 1 match away from winning the Bound for Glory playoffs. He will be facing ECIII next week. This was an unfortunate event. What will now transpire, as Drew Galloway and ECIII were already at odds, and here yet again ECIII costing him an important match. Will this be the turning point? Will Drew Galloway, will the Scottish Dragon turn heel? Or will the ass-kicking machine, ECIII, Ethan Carter III, the nephew of the boss, will things change? Will we have Dixie Carter as that evil GM? Will ECIII be that heel champion? We got to tune in next week and see what happens. See what happens at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. This was a entertaining and great Impact Wrestling show this week. I have nothing to truly complain about. The wrestling was top-notch. Some of the vignettes were a bit silly and a bit odd, but either way, it seems to be fitting into some storylines they have going on that I'm unaware of, just getting back into the universe of Impact Wrestling. And I will be doing my homework this week to find out exactly what in the hell is going on with Bram and Rosemary and other little events going on here and there. But I'm really looking forward to a match between ECIII and Michael Bennett. 2 of the best wrestlers in the business, 2 of my favorites. Let's see what happens next week. Now again, follow me if you will. Hit that subscribe button down below. Leave your comments. Tell me what you thought of this review. Let me know what I'm doing right. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you'd like to hear, what you'd like to see, and what you don't want to hear, what you don't want to see. Let me know who you think is going to be the winner. Will it be ECIII or will it be Michael Bennett? Follow me on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. Follow the Big Slam Nation at Big Slam Nation. And of course, Bill Apter, the guru, the legend, the man, the myth, the Hall of Famer, Apter. After One Wrestling on Twitter. Follow us at One Wrestling on Twitter. And with that, my friends, I will see you at the matches, and I'll catch you down the road.